Magandang buhay. This is the week 9 discussion for the purposive communication. Our topic for today is the speeches according to delivery. So the previous topic we have discussed different speeches according to purposes. Now let's define what is, or let's discuss speeches according to delivery. When we say delivery, this is how you share your speech to your audience. Ano ba yung mga paraan sa pagde-deliver or sa pagbabahagi ng speech natin, no matter if it is, regardless if it is informative, entertainment, or even. So there are 4 types of speeches according to delivery. We have the manuscript speech, the memorized speech, the extemporaneous speech, and of course the impromptu speech. Let's go to the manuscript. Manuscript speech. It is a kind of speech with advanced preparation, planned and rehearsed and read aloud with a written message. Commonly, when we say manuscript, from the word itself, script, you need something to read. So, kadalasan may binabasa ka kapag gumagamit tayo ng manuscript speech. Ito yung mga nakikita natin sa mga hosts na meron silang cue card, o kaya naman sa mga TV shows, yung mga live shows na meron silang prompter, or people call as idiot board, kung saan lumalakad pataas yung mga words dun sa monitor nila. And so anything, or even yung mga government officials, whenever they declare something, the president himself, kapag nagpe-present ng State of the Nation address, meron siyang binabasa, or even yung mga presenters, ayan, or different speakers. So, o kaya yung mga nagbabasa ng verses sa Bible or sa misa, ayan. So, again, this is a kind of speech that usually read aloud. Ang advantage ng manuscript speech is the person just reads exact repetition of the written words, and it is a guided speech. So, kadalasan, binabasa lang literally. Ayan, binabasa lang kung ano man yung nakasulat dun sa manuscript or dun sa script or dun sa cue card or any material na ginamit. And commonly, hindi siya basta pinapresent lang. Kasi guided yan. Meron yung mga markings. Ayan, may markings na pinapresent or isinusulat dun sa manuscript nila for them to know when to pause, when to stop, or when to give emphasis dun sa sinasabi nila. Yun ang advantage. You do not need to think of what you're going to say next, because you're just reading. You're just reading what's exactly written on your manuscript. But the disadvantage of this is, of course, the presentation may seem boring and uninteresting and lacks audience rapport or connection. Bakit? Kasi syempre may tendency na nakatingin ka na lang sa manuscript, you're focused on reading the paper, pero nakakalimutan mo nang magkaroon ng eye contact, nakakalimutan mo na makiconnect sa audience mo, and etc. So, the idea of manuscript speech can be used kung halimbawang hindi naman importante na meron kayong connection with your audience, or even yung eye contact. Halimbawa, sa mga podcasts, ayan, pwede kang gumamit ng manuscript speech o kaya naman sa mga recorded videos. Bakit? Hindi mo naman kailangan makakonect sa audience mo directly, kasi you're just recording what you're saying. So, but the thing about manuscript speech is it's not just you're reading what's written. Kasi pinaghahandaan din yan. Katulad nga ng description niya. It is a kind of speech with advanced preparation, planned and rehearsed. Hindi po pwede na sinulat mo yung speech, tapos pinresent mo na as is. Kadalasan sinecheck pa yan. So, kadalasan re-review, pinapractice yan. Kasi kung halimbawa, sinulat mo siya, tapos binasa mo kagad out loud sa audience mo without checking or without practicing, possible na ma-mispronounce mo yung words, o kaya naman possible na mamali ka ng pause, or possible din naman na merong hindi kaaya-ayang marinig or mabasa ka dun sa speech mo itself. Okay? So, kadalasan pinaghahandaan yan. Hindi po pwede na ikaw lang mismo or ngayon na mismo mo ipepresent yan. Kadalasan ng manuscript speeches para sa mga government officials, hindi sila ang gumagawa niyan. Meron silang mga writers to create their speeches kasi may mga pagkakataon na wala na silang time to create their own speech. So, merong gumagawa for them and sila na lang nagpe-present. That's why kailangan pa rin talagang paghandaan at practicein kasi may mga pagkakataon na hindi rin naman sila ang sumusulat ng manuscript nila. So, what are the examples of manuscript speeches? It can be newscasting over television. Kung makita natin, meron silang papers na hawak-hawak and then they turn to the next page whenever natapos na yung spiel nila during that segment. Yeah. Also, it can be used in presenting legal proceedings and verdict in a court. Yung mga sinasabi ng order the court, yan. This is the final judgment, etc. Or pwede rin naman reading the rules and criteria and a contest. So, kadalasan nakikita natin yan. Meron tayong 30% for etc., 20% for blah, blah, blah. Okay? So, makikita natin na using the manuscript speech, akala natin madali lang siya, na basta mo lang babasahin, but it's not. Kadalasan ginagamit ang manuscript speech kapag hindi pa sanay ang isang tao to speak out loud in front of. So, here are the tips for manuscript speeches. Dito muna tayo sa left side. Of course, first, you need to rehearse the speech over and over again until it sounds natural. Kasi kung mapapansin natin, kapag binasa mo lang isang manuscript without even rehearsing, possible para kang robot. O kaya naman parang monotone and monotonous na kung saan iisa lang ang tono mo, na walang emotions, walang man lang feeling. Mamaya yung binabasa mo nakakatakot na pala, hindi mo pa na-i-express ng maayos kasi nga you're not familiar with the idea dahil basa ka lang naman ng basa. So you need to rehearse the speech over and over again until parang natural na. Parang ikaw na mismo yung nagsasalita at hindi ka lang nagbabasa. Then next to that is observe accomplished news anchor and note how conversational they sound when they deliver the news. So mapapansin natin, para lang sila nakikipag-usap sa camera or sa audience nila. Pero they're just reading their manuscript. Pero since sanay na sila, gamay na nila yung ginagawa nila, and of course they rehearse over and over again, mas nagsasound na nga as natural. So another tip for manuscript speeches. 6 tips in using the manuscript method. Number 1, prepare. Of course, you don't just need to prepare your manuscript itself, but of course you need to prepare yourself as well. Physically, dapat prepared ka. Prepared yung boses mo. Syempre, you're going to speak in public. Aside from that, you need to prepare your eyes as well. Kasi magbabasa ka. You're going to read a lot of words. And kapag nalito ka, kapag naduling ka, kapag hindi mo ayos na nabasa yung words, possible na mabago din yung masasabi mo or ma-distract ka na. At ganun din, you need to prepare yourself. Sleep at least para nakakonsentrate ka sa ginagawa. So, number 1 is prepare. Number 2, mark. You need to create markings or anything that can give you a sign or a symbol regarding what you are reading in your manuscript. So, para makita mo kung saan magpo-pause, saan magsa-stop, and of course, para mabigyan mo ng emphasis. Pwede mong bilugan, underline mo, or note mo with another color of pen, or i-highlight mo so that you'll know when to stop, what to emphasize, and of course, what to skip if ever na merong kailangan skip. Okay? Number 3 is practice. And number 4, practice of more. Always remember that practice makes perfect. But nobody's perfect. So why practice? Char. But nobody's perfect, but practice makes improvements. Always remember that. So, kapag nagpa-practice ka every day, you're going to be better. Better at speaking, better at communicating with other people. Then, of course, number 5, concentrate. May mga pagkakataon na kapag nagbabasa tayo ng manuscript or anything that we read out loud, nagsiskip tayo ng one line or ng word kasi nakakalimutan natin or sometimes we're too nervous to read thoroughly or we're too nervous to check out the words that we're going to say. So we need to concentrate. And of course, lastly, act it out. Always remember na ang iniiwasan natin ay magmukha tayong robot and to sound like a robot. So you need to act out. Katulad ng mga tellers, yung mga narrators, podcast, speakers, naririnig natin sa kanila that even when they are just talking to their audience, meron silang tono, meron silang emotions. They're very expressive of their emotions because it's really helpful para maipakita mo or ma-relay mo sa audience mo kung ano ba yung gusto mong mangyari regarding your speech. So these are the tips for manuscript speech. Now let's talk about memorized speech. So whenever we have manuscript speeches, the next thing to do is to memorize it. So manuscript speech is connected to memorized speech, in which it is a manuscript committed to memory. The speaker chooses a speech to memorize for days. So sabi ko nga, para lang siyang manuscript speech, but the difference is you need to memorize it word per word. So kadalasan, ang memorized speech, ginagamit natin yan kung halimbawang ayaw natin ma-awkward na may binabasa tayo o kaya naman para mag-sound tayo as natural as possible. So, kadalasan ang manuscript speeches, pinaghahandaan din siya, pero mas matindi yung paghahanda na ginagawa sa memorized speeches kasi hindi naman lahat ng tao kayang mag-memorize ng speech. Katulad ko, I have a short-term memory and yung mga pagkakataon na nakakalimutan ko agad yung sinasabi ko. So, may mga taong kaya nila, they can memorize a lot of words, a lot of speeches, even declamation, and etc. Pero may mga tao din naman na hindi. Pero, always remember na kapag gagamit kayo ng memorized speech, you need to prepare. Prepare yourselves and you need to give time for yourself kasi hindi agad-agad yan. Hindi po pwede na binasa mo yung manuscript ngayon, bukas kakabisaduhin mo siya. So it takes time for you to memorize a particular piece or a particular speech. What are the advantages or disadvantages of memorized speech? Of course, its advantage is the words are polished because you already have your manuscript. Kumbaga, hindi ka na mag-iisip ng fresh ideas, hindi ka na magkakaroon ng stuttering or ng fillers dahil nakasulat na siya. Hindi mo na kailangan mag-isip on the spot ng kung ano pa yung sasabihin mo. And of course, the speaker can have eye contact with the audience because minus the script itself or wala ka ng hawak na papel, kaya nakakatingin ka na sa mata ng audience mo. But what about the disadvantage? So, yun nga yung sabi ko kanina, that there are people that can memorize, but there are also people that cannot. Or it's hard for them to memorize speeches or to memorize speeches na magagamit nila. Pero may mga pagkakataon na meron tayong mga ways on how to memorize a speech. So, another note, it is advised to avoid memorized speech, especially for your first speech assignment. Bakit ina-avoid? Because kapag memorize mo na yung speech, tapos first time mo, may tendency na kabahan ka, and hindi ka makapag-focus dun sa speech mo. Baka makalimutan mo na rin. So, tips for memorizing a speech. Number 1, when you have your manuscript, sabi nga natin kanina, you need to mark down. You need to mark down when to stop, when to pause and what are the things to emphasize. So, kapag minarking mo na yan or nilagyan mo ng markings, you need to check kung paano pa siya mahati-hati. You need to break it down. Hindi mo mamememorize ang isang speech ng isang buo. Lalo-lalo na kung hirap ka mag-memorize. So, these tips are also experienced by me, and I often use this to memorize different speeches or different topics. So, I always use the chunking system. I break it down depending on how the ideas were separated, pwedeng by paragraph, by sentences, by lines. It depends on how you do it. So, may mga pagkakataon na kung kaya mo naman mag-memorize ng paragraph to paragraph, you can do it. So, break it down depending on your choice. Letter B, build it up. You cannot memorize all the paragraphs in one go. You can break it up one step at a time. For example, memorize mo si first paragraph. After you have memorized the first paragraph, you can move to the second paragraph. Then after you memorize the second paragraph, before moving to the third paragraph, babalik ka sa paragraph 1. Bakit? Kasi may tendency na kapag nag-move ka na kagad sa 3, nakalimutan mo na si 1. So, you need to build it up. Paunti-unti hanggang sa makabisado mo na lahat. Okay? So, again, chunk it down, break it down, and then build it up. Letter C, speak out. May mga pagkakataon na kapag naririnig natin yung boses natin, mas madali natin natatandaan ang isang bagay. Katulad na lang sa kanta. May mga chances na or scenarios na ang hirap kabisaduhin ng kanta kung hindi mo siya kinakanta itself. Pero kung paulit-ulit mo siyang nakakanta, nakakabisado mo na rin siya. So, you need to speak out. In order for you to do that, pwede mo kausapin yung sarili mo sa salamin. Huwag mo lang hintayin na sumagot yan. Joke. But you can do that. Practice in front of the mirror or you can practice out loud para ma-practice mo na rin yung tamang diction and tamang pronunciation with the words that you're going to say. Okay? That's letter C. Letter D, identify the keys or the key points. Hindi po pwede na nakabisado mo na lang siya as is. Tandaan mo ano yung key points in every paragraph so that kapag na mental block ka at matatandaan mo lang or alalahanin mo lang ano yung key point ng next paragraph na yun or ano yung order ng pagkakaayos ng speech na yun para mas madali mo siyang ma-present or mas madali mo siyang matandaan. Letter E, have a break. Sabi nga ng KitKat, have a break, have a KitKat. Importanteng may pahinga din. Halimbawa, nakabisado mo na ngayon yung speech mo, then tomorrow you're going to present it, you can take a pause. Magpahinga ka, hindi ka robot. Pwede mo pa rin balikan yan. And may mga pag-aaral na sinasabi nila na habang natataranta ka dahil last minute na masyado mong hindi matatandaan yung mga bagay or yung mga kailangan mong sabihin. Number F, this is very effective for me. This is record and listen. You're going to record your voice and listen to it multiple of times until you have memorized your manuscript. Pwede mo rin i-record yung sarili mo habang nagpa-practice and then panoorin mo and then compare yourself. Compare your progress depending on the videos that you have recorded. Makikita mo kasi yun kung meron na bang improvement or progress dun sa performance mo. Okay, you record and listen. Para makita mo rin, ma-point out mo rin ano ba yung mga mali. Mali sa pronunciation or baka may nakalimutan ka sabihin or etc. And then lastly, use note cards. Hindi ka gagamit ng kodigo. Pero since you are using a manuscript, you need guidelines. Yan. So you're going to use note cards para isulat yung keys na in-identify mo sa letter D. You're just going to check the note cards bago ka mag-start so that if ever na kinakabahan ka, at least you can review. You can review your topic or your piece. Okay, now let's move to extemporaneous speech. Ano nga ba extemporaneous? Extemporaneous speech is a presentation of a carefully planned and rehearsed speech spoken in a conversational manner using brief notes. So, kadalasan, ang extemporaneous speech ay pinaghahandaan siya but not really. 50-50. Pinaghahandaan siya in a way na inaaral yung topic, inaaral yung ideas, pero hindi siya katulad ng manuscript na binabasa at hindi rin siya katulad ng memorize na kinakabisado. Ang extemporaneous speech kadalasan kung ano lang yung notes or yung ideas na meron ng isang tao, then they're going to explain it to their audience or they're going to give ideas or insights regarding the topic or regarding the theme. So, kadalasan ng extemporaneous speech, ginagamit yan ng teachers. Yan, kung saan hindi naman kami madalas nagsusulat ng lahat ng sinasabi namin sa board. Konti lang yung nakasulat, pero ang dami ng nasabi ni teacher. Because kadalasan ng extemporaneous speech, pinaghahandaan yung topic itself, pero yung sasabihin, hindi na. Kung ano yung pagkakaunawa, pagkakaintindi ng speaker, yun na rin ang sinasabi niya. Okay, ano nga ba advantage ng extemporaneous speech? It promotes the likelihood that you, the speaker, will perceived as knowledgeable and credible. Bakit? Kasi pinaghandaan mo. You have searched before your presentation. So, extemporaneous para din siyang on-the-spot speech. But the thing is, may idea ka kung ano yung topic. Pero ano ba yung disadvantage nito? Because disadvantage extemporaneous speech because you need to prepare yourselves, both your manuscript and or your topic, and at the same time, yung pananalita mo. Hindi po pwede na katulad sa manuscript na nagbabasa ka lang, sa memorize na kabisado mo lang. Sa extemporaneous, ideas mo mismo yung ibabahagi mo sa kanila. So, reminder, adequate preparation cannot be achieved the day before you're scheduled to speak. Hindi po pwede na bukas na yung speech mo, kahapon mo palang babasahin or ngayon mo palang titignan. So, kailangan prepared ka. Kadalasan ng extemporaneous speech, hinahalungkat lahat ng stock knowledge na meron ka based dun sa words or sa notes, sa ideas na ibinigay. So, lastly, let's go to impromptu speech. This is a presentation of a short message without advanced preparation. Unlike sa manuscript, sa memorized, or sa extemporaneous, ang impromptu speech, wala siyang preparation. No preparation is needed, no script, no outline, only your immediate ideas are most precious. Ang impromptu speech at tinatawag nating on the spot, na kung saan bibigyan ka lang ng minimal amount of time, for example, 1 to 3 seconds, 5 to 10 seconds to think, or minsan hindi ka na talaga nakapag-isip. Pagkatawag pa lang sa'yo, magsasalita ka na, yun na. And so sometimes you need to think of ways to buy your time or to buy your extra time para makapag-isip ka pa kahit pa paano. Ano ang advantage ng impromptu speech? Of course, it's very spontaneous. Na kung saan, kung ano lang pumasok sa isip mo, kung ano gusto mong sabihin, pwede mong masabi. Of course, responsive siya kasi kadalasan ibinabase mo yung sasabihin mo dun sa audience na nakikinig sa'yo. Ano naman ang disadvantage ng impromptu speech? Of course, wala kang preparation. The speaker is given little or no time to contemplate the central theme of his or her message. Commonly, sa impromptu speeches, as in wala ka ng oras to think of your topic or to think of your idea. So, kailangan knowledgeable enough ka to present or to share your ideas to the public. Examples, kapag halimbawa attend ka sa special events like wedding or celebration, halimbawa yung mga awards night, yan, may mga pagkakataon na pinaghahandaan nila yung speeches nila, pero may mga pagkakataon din naman na hindi. So, kung halimbawa nagkakantsawan lang na, speech, sabihin ganon. Tapos you need to deliver a speech without even thinking or without even enough preparation. Pwede mangyari yun. Kasi ang tendency niyan is to give whatever idea you have at that moment. Pwede rin sa schools during recitation. Yan. O kaya naman during discussion. No matter what comes into your mind and you said it out loud, this is an example of impromptu speech. And also the teachers. Teachers commonly use impromptu speech. Okay, tips for impromptu speech. we have three organizing strategies for impromptu speech. You can organize your thoughts without writing kasi hindi mo nga mape-prepare. You don't have enough time to think of the preparation or to think of how to present your ideas. But you can put it in this way. So, halimbawa, sa isip mo, you need to start with the past first. In order to give logical presentation to your to your audience, um, rather. So, for example, you're thinking about the past and then you move to the present and then moving forward to the future. So, malaking bagay yun para mas ma-organize mo yung thoughts mo o yung ideas mo. Pwede rin namang letter P. Point. Paano mismo yung point mo muna? Yung dahilan, bakit yun yung pinaglalaban mo. Pwede kang magbigay ng examples. Or pwede rin namang explanation muna, papunta dun sa point mo. Sometimes, pwede rin yun para may element of surprise. And of course, lastly is letter C, opening. Yan. Opening, meron ka introduction, meron kang sasabihin sa audience mo or sa listeners mo. And then you have the rule of three. Three things lang yung sasabihin mo or hatiin mo yung ideas mo sa tatlo para mas madali mo siyang mai-express. And of course, the clincher. Commonly yung clincher, this is the question you're going to live for your ideas. Ito yung steering conclusion at sinasabi natin. Okay. So tips for impromptu speech. Take your time getting ready to speak. Sometimes it's easy to say or to say something than do it. So ang hirap mag-take your time kung wala ka namang binigay na oras para makapag-prepare for impromptu speech. Paano natin magagawa yun? May mga pagkakataon na may mga speakers na kumakaway muna sila, bumabati muna sila sa mga audience nila. Kaya naman they use a lot of time or a lot of chances to extend their time and extend their period. For example, yung mga beauty queen regarding the question and answer portion. Talagang sinasabi nila na, thank you for that wonderful question. O kaya inuulit nila yung question itself. By doing that, nabibigyan sila ng chance na makapag-isip pa kung ano yung sasabihin nila. Number 2, calm your nerves. It's very important na maging kalmado. Kasi pag hindi ka kalmado, maghahalo-halo yung ideas sa utak. Number 3, project a confident aura. Kung mapapansin natin yung mga speakers na impromptu speakers, para bang alam na alam nila yung sinasabi nila. Because you need to fake it till you make it, sabi nga ni Taylor Swift. But the thing is, you need to project a confident one. And of course, lastly, make a short introduction. To buy you an extra time, you need to introduce your idea or introduce the topic. Kasi kung bigla ka na lang tatakbo dun sa topic mo, possible na maguluhan din yung taong kausap. Okay? So these are the tips for impromptu. So aside from that, there's nothing more. Thank you for listening. Have a great day. God